Beloved, act on this revelation. If you only listen to it, you are fooling yourselves. This corresponds to what we had in the Gospel in the present rite this morning. It was this combination of abiding in the Lord, that Trinitarian life which is in us, and doing what He commands. We are fooling ourselves if we hope for one and don't do the other. As in any human relationship, it is hugely damaged if one does not listen to the desire of the beloved. One can't hope then for true intimacy, for there is a vitiation at the root. With regard also to the consequences, this follows. The Lord, in the same short Gospel of this morning from St. John, talks about the joy of the Father and that fullness of joy which we have if we do His will. Years ago, the president of the English Christian Union invited me to a lecture, a talk given to the students by the wife of the local Pentecostal pastor. It was on the whole question of marriage and all that might go with it, before and after. And when I explained my position, she calmly said that she also had no intention of marrying because she wanted to give herself to the Lord completely. And she wanted me to go, so I did, and it was the best talk I've ever heard on that subject. And I thought to myself, if only we had the same. But that's another chapter. But it matters, because we are not getting enough clear, explicit teaching on this realm from our own. And at university level, that matters an awful lot. So here was challenging teaching, and not a stone was left unturned. But she did make this point, that if one starts in one's relationship with the Lord to park the Lord for one's own pleasure, then that will come up in prayer, because the conscience will be in pain, and the relationship will be damaged, and she was bang on. She also put it this way, in your choice of partner, if you find someone who doesn't have a relationship with the Lord, you're in trouble. How can you be, and she put it this way, how can you be in love, or rather nuts for, that's how she put it, the Lord Jesus, and be close to someone who has no time for Him? And again she was bang on. Words which need to be heard. We must not be afraid of declaring certain truths before those, especially young, who have life choices ahead of them. The young actually want to be challenged, if they're authentic. And I've noticed too how it's the strict monasteries, the faithful ones, that tend to challenge well and draw. I think of two in particular. The strictest monastery I know in France, Ceffoul. There are 90 there, and a very young age average. And in Italy, the strictest Trappist monastery I know there is Victoriano. Again, about 90 there, and every so often have to make a new foundation. And so, the joy of the Lord in authentic mode, not the happy-clappy on its own, divorced from interiority, is there at a cost. As in human relationships, there's no joy if we've just hurt someone badly. That has to be healed. An atmosphere around, like a heavy cloud. Well, the same with the Lord Jesus. joy is given, but on his terms. This same short reading from St. James in the Old Rite today talks about listening, which is part of the adventure. Listening with the inner ear to the Lord, but also with the exterior ear to those who might be talking in his name. Then, he says, there is the case of a man whose tongue is not controlled. He imagines that he is devout, but this is self-deception. That man's worship is pointless. Now, the tongue, if it's ever wagging and can't sit still, is also affecting the ear. I was teaching someone some Gregorian chant recently and saying, listen. And the organ of listening is the ear. It's in listening and with the ear that one actually chants. On chante avec l'oreille. One sings with the ear. It's true also in life. One lives with the ear. And the Lord gave us a gentle hint. He gave us 2 ears and only 1 mouth. The hint was there, but very few pick it up and tend to have the opposite proportion in their words. They're always in output, and the input is pretty scarce. And one clue of that is, do they talk across? To talk across is never to be heard. Courtesy. But it is also a mode of receptivity throughout life, for the inner ear comes in there too. The Lord is always talking. He's talking right now, even in a YouTube, even in the event. It's his word. But we're objecting that it shouldn't be so. And if we find an uncomfortable word, we'll make sure that it's not so, and we'll block it out by heavy decibels. The soul that is gentle and quiet knows a lot, because he's picking up a lot of other people's acquisition of truth all the time. I remember picking this one up in France. Our professor of theology, not long dead, was an encyclopedia. He knew because he read huge amounts. And the novice master put it this way: those who know a certain amount tranche, they declare, they're spoken, and they take immediate sides, because they know. The one who knows a lot, he put it this way, ils sont prudents, they are prudent. Those who have read wagons of books, he put it. And that was true. I saw actually in the community how the one who had read an awful lot didn't easily pronounce, because he knew that there were also nuances. And those are the bits that the inner ear picks up. Nuances also in categories of soul, because categories of soul do not exist. Only souls. That will be a gift to ask for in Eastertide. For the Lord came and said, peace unto you. And peace is the mode of receptivity, not heavy, heavy decibels. San Giacomo ci parla oggi dell'ascolto quante anime non sanno ascoltare, quante conversazioni non sono conversazioni, ma due monologhi paralleli. Nel Vangelo della messa attuale oggi c'è questo elemento dell'abitazione con la sua conseguenza di fare quello che desidera il nostro ospite interiore. E poi c'è l'estensione che il frutto è la gioia vera e abbondante. Quando la coscienza soffre, la gioia parte. E come nei rapporti umani, se non si tiene conto della volontà dell'altra persona, l'atmosfera è inquinata. Così con Gesù, se non si tiene conto anche nel concreto della sua minima volontà, l'atmosfera dell'intimità è inquinata, perché non c'è gioia quando sappiamo che abbiamo offeso il diletto. E la vera gioia si trova non nelle emozioni grandi e forti che passano, ma nella coscienza tranquilla e pacata. Come dice Gesù all'inizio, quando appare, pace a voi. Pace anche riceve perché non parla, e la pace ha gioia. Invece la gioia effervescente passa, quella coscienza pura e profonda e rimane. Regina Celi, letane, alleluia,
Quia eroisti portare, alleluia, resurrexit, sicut dixit, alleluia, ora pro nobis Deum, alleluia.
Gaudiet letare Virgo Maria, alleluia.
Quia surrexit Dominus vere, alleluia.
Oremus, Deus qui per resurrectione finitui Domini nostri Iesu Christi mundum rectificare dignatus est, est sumus, ut per eos genetrice Virgine Mariam perpetue capiamus gaudia vitae, per undem Christum Dominum nostrum.
Amen.
Divinum auxilium Maria semper nobiscum.
Amen.
Fidelium anime per misericordiam Dei, requiescant in pace.
Amen.